Nita, your favorite diva, and I'm back. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let the diva know you stopped by. Make sure you subscribe if you like the vibe. If this is your first time here, welcome and welcome back, Diva Squad. So I give it 3 out of 5 stars. It knew what it was, and it delivered just that. I'm doing a trailer reaction. And on Nita the Diva's channel. What is up, you guys? This is your girl Nita, your favorite diva, and I am back with my girl Monique Johnson as we recap episode 2 of Shogun.
Yes.
So, first of all, let's go ahead and get the pleasantries out the way. I want y'all, if you're finding me for the first time, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, do all of the things. Okay?
Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend.
Tell a friend. And get me in that algorithm, y'all, because people are watching Shogun and they need to see the other people recapping it, okay? So
yes.
I'm going to give you the best that we got. This is episode 2. The name of the episode is Servants of Two Masters. We see this theme going on throughout this episode with a couple of different characters, and we'll discuss that as we get into it. Monique, I want to ask you, what did you think about this episode? Just overall, just your general thing before we get into the recap. And
I like this episode. Unlike the first episode, it gives you some background.
Yes. That's my favorite part of this episode. That we
the
got
ruler before.
Yes, we got a lot of context.
Yes. So they're going back a little bit back this episode.
Yes, we went back and we got to see how this whole not alliance, but the
council came to be.
Yes, how the council came to be.
Yeah.
And so we are in Osaka 1 year ago, and the Taiko is actually his health is failing and he's getting ready to pass away. But this is a big but, y'all. Because I was just talking to her offline. I said, there's a lot of stuff that I missed because I'm so busy reading the subtitles.
Yeah.
But I'm getting ready to play this clip for y'all, and I want y'all to tell me what y'all see. Okay. So here it is. Here it is. That's all I wanted y'all to see. That is all I wanted you all to see. Did you catch what the show was putting down? Mm-hmm. Are we here?
Or we are here. We are here. We saw that glance over.
Yes. Oh my God.
Eyes
like this changes everything.
Yeah.
It changes everything. And the fact that we're already on episode 4, I'm still not really seeing the change for sure, but I still feel like this changes a lot. So
it's something that will probably pop up down the line.
Yes, probably episode 8, 7, 8 or something.
Probably so.
There will be some revelations coming.
It got to be, because we peeked that glance at each other like.
Exactly. So I'm glad we picking up with okay.
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe. Yes.
Especially in those times.
Yes.
Without Dana, we don't know what's going on.
Right.
And do you think the Taiko, do you think that he is blonde haired, or is that just gray hair, like old age?
That's a good question.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm
like giving blonde like the House of the Dragons, what's the name now with that white hair?
Right.
Giving gray.
Okay.
To me.
All right. Okay. That's fine. Because I don't see anybody else with that hair color, but it didn't read so much as gray. It kind of red blondish, like a dirty blonde to me.
It's hard to tell with the lighting. Yeah, they have in there. So
because it has the fire.
Yeah,
gives off a yellow glow too. So that's very true.
So we open up the scene. We see him. His health is failing. We see his son. His that is his. I'm trying to figure out, was that his older wife, the nun wife, or was that the mother of the child? I'm not quite sure. It's not a big deal, but we'll move on to it. So here, it was the older wife that was beside him. So this is the mother
of the child.
of the child, and this is his, his wife, who
yeah.
is the nun in the, later on down.
Later on.
So yes, so she looks conniving. The
young one, young thing.
She,
she
she looks
probably was a former lady of the night. If you get my drift.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like,
yes,
yeah, she giving lady of the night.
absolutely. So he made a comment and he said, "I never cared for beautiful women," and the Tycho said he cared too much. So I feel like remember what he said? He said that your heart, you have 3 parts of your heart.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is one of those things. Same thing why he's taking a liking to Mariko.
I noticed that.
Yes. And so I'm just like, he's saying that he never cared for beautiful women. However, he always had beautiful women surrounding
him. Yeah.
So I did catch
so
that.
So you're not practicing what you preach, dude.
Exactly.
We see you.
We see each other. So he's ending up saying that it's been over 100 years since the end of any true shogun.
Yeah.
Now because he's meeting his end, I'm thinking that he's saying that he's the end of that line, the shogun line. But when the lady said we need the shogun, I thought that was in Toranaga's bloodline. How did you feel like that was kind of how did you perceive that? How did you interpret?
So
I know it's weird though, right?
Pull up that chart thing up again. I'm trying to see.
Oh, okay.
The connection between what's the name, Taco and Toranaga.
Got you.
Because I'm like
right here. Okay, so Kuroda maybe was a shogun. Then we have Taiko. That's right. That was his successor. Where does Toranaga? I don't know. He doesn't really have a real link. I think they just have like a friendship because you see Toranaga, his lines are gold. I
guess it depends on where you was born at. If we go later in this episode when the barbarian or John is in prison and he talks to the guy, he kind of give him a history. So
right.
Get there. So
I think did I get that? I might have that clip as well. So we will get the whole thing. So definitely, I love that this episode actually gave us a real reading into the religions and who the councils were, who were the Christians and the who was trying to play each other against. So I'm glad we kind of got that. So
what was supposed to be the 5 councils are supposed to be share power until the boy become of age. So
right, which is 16.
Yep.
And so so like we said, this is chapter 2, servants of 2 masters. I told you the theme is going to be very, very apparent in this episode as we start to recap it. And here's another. We have another example.
They look foolish in this getup. I'm sorry.
I know,
but that's the times
in religion. Protestants, right? Or are these the Catholics?
I want to say Catholics because
I think so.
When John and what's his name, Martin got into it, he said there's 2 Christians, Protestant and Catholics, and he said he said I'm Protestant.
Right. Okay. Exactly. So they're having this meeting. Now, Rodriguez has this book that tells all what's going on. He do know that y'all are in cahoots with this because not only was John's stuff being told, their tea and their hand in the whole, the merchant, and everything that's all the stuff that's behind the scenes, their tea was spilled in that book as well.
Oh, yes.
He basically was telling him that, y'all need to get that together because
he definitely giving little finger vibes. Dang, after I saw him, like, she is right. After I watched this again, that part again, I was like, dang.
Yes. Knowledge is king. But you know how Littlefinger met his end.
Yeah.
And that's all I will say about that. We'll see. So then we have Ishidu. Lord Ishidu come before Toranaga.
Yeah.
He's insulting the barbarian and calling him a dog face.
Like, dude, do you see how you look?
Listen, I was like, shout out to Snoop Dogg talking about dog face. I'm like this, oh Lord. He was like, how ugly. I said, oh my goodness, it was too funny. Like, I love these little things sprinkled in here, but you can see that Ishidu, he has his ass is up on his shoulders. Like, you know, he be feeling himself too much. I put on my social media, I put on Twitter, I said, we need to get Ishido up out of here.
Okay.
Off
with his head. Okay. You got that right.
Off with his head, baby. Like, I need Ishido to get out of here. He is so irritating to me.
Very so.
They had this little exchange, and he's saying that he's here to bring the peace, and he's trying to figure out you're so close to your impeachment. Why are you so interested in this barbarian? What is going on? And so for Toranaga, he was just like, well, I mean,
he said he don't have no value to him, so you can send him on.
Right, he said we're gonna go ahead and just put him in prison. If that makes you happy, we're gonna go ahead and escort him to the prison, and that's that. You know what I'm saying? And I love that he kind of placates Ishido because he knows, like, it's a way that people who hold power, they know how to use the power to get what they want. And that is what a good adversary or a good a character, like when you're developing a character, when you know how to play the people against
play the game.
Yes, it makes for good TV. So
yeah,
loved all of that. We get to see Toranaga's lady, and she's there, and of course she's of age. You know, she's a lady of a particular age. Shout out to me. And we get
I can't deal with you. Shout out to me.
And then we get to see the different women, the higher ladies who are actually expecting. Remember, we were talking about that power that he was trying to do. So in this, it kind of encompasses the power moves that he's trying to make and play and all that stuff. So we see the lady Shizu,
and Kiri.
Yes, and Kiri and everybody, you know, is pregnant and all that stuff, and he still got his bird. So don't forget about
that. Yeah. I got it.
And so we pick up the conversation where we're going to be combining a little bit of the conversations. He talks to her about the interpreter because, you know, she was doing the interpreting between the priest or the father and the barbarian. And she said, unlike that other one in episode 1, we could trust everything that he's saying. Everything he's saying, he's standing on business. Everything is on the up and up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another conversation that they end up having, the general Toranaga and Mariko and Mariko. I think it's Mariko.
Yeah, right.
Mariko. They have a conversation, and the general is asking, why is this barbarian so important to you? You know, we just talking. It's just us. It's not
kitchen table talk.
We need to know what's going on. So then Mariko actually breaks it down and tells him that because of the religion and where he comes from and all of that stuff, it's almost like an enemy of an enemy is my friend. He's here to sow discourse between the council because, you know, we have 2 Christian council members. It's the one that's covered, and it's the other one who is very just vocal. We will see him a little bit later.
Yeah,
he's very vocal about. He actually put the hit out on the barbarian. So Black. So we have this conversation. They have a little. She was his student, so he knows certain things about her. We're getting some exposition, getting some history about them. And he kind of glazes over some troubles and some dark times, and he asked her was she still struggling with what she was struggling with some time ago when he counseled her or whatever.
Right.
And well, how did she exactly answer that, Monique? She was kind of like, I don't think she gave an answer.
She was very vague. She wasn't giving like lengthy things, you know.
Yeah, she was just like, I'm dealing or something, or it was something or another where it felt like it was like a brush off.
Yeah, that's why I said it's very vague. It was like short.
Yeah.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, we see that they have some history, so we're not going to harp on that or whatever. Then we see this new guy. We have a new character come here. Not quite sure his name. I don't see it on the thing, so I don't think that he is very important to the story. But
I call him Captain.
Oh, Captain, right. He's probably a captain, a merchant, or something with the ships and stuff, and all of the, the stuff that's going back and forth. And what he basically said, he doesn't work for the church; he works for the crown.
Right.
So it's bigger pieces at play, and so
doing a trade. Yeah.
So I like that. I said, okay, we got another element that we got to kind of be worrying about a little bit later too. And like I said, these Catholics, they got their hands in a lot of stuff, and we just don't know how dirty, but we know that they dibbling and dabbling.
Yep.
So of course they have a conversation. I don't have a screenshot of it. Let me see if I have a. Oh, I do have a clip. Oh, sorry. He was basically saying that his hands are kind of tied because the two Christians on the council wants to do this hit on him. And so we know that he's in prison or whatever. So then he has to. So that's the thing about Yoshibe. We gotta put together these elaborate plans to try to stay on the, because he doesn't know who's going to win the fight. So he's acting like he's loyal to Toranaga. For some reason, I feel like he is on Ishido's side. Like he really thinks that he's going to play this thing right, and he he's just placating Toranaga in order to, kind of maybe have the greater alliance with Ishido. And so he goes in to make this plan to go in and actually rescue the Anjin. They pull him out of the prisoner. He thought he was going to be, all right. So we're going to talk about when he was detained in the prison. Now, baby, he got a whole history lesson downloaded really, really quick by this man here. He is very popular. I believe he played in Narcos. He played in a whole lot of and stuff like that. But he seemed like he was acting like a priest, like he was trying to bless the people before they were getting their heads chopped off and all this other stuff. So he's in there. He knows what's going on.
I think he's been there for a while too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So,
and he basically gave him a rundown about, he told him a little bit about the because Toranaga has taken him as an ally and he's in Osaka. He was like, this is not going to bode well for you.
Right.
This is not going to work the way you think it's going to work. And so at the same time, he was telling
the history about Toranaga. He was born in Minawara, which carried great weights in Japan. And for centuries, his ancestors dominated this country.
Right.
Carrying with them a divine mandate. It's a title revered through the ages.
Right.
The ultimate rank a mortal can achieve, which is Shogun.
Right.
So, yeah.
Then he broke down when we talked about the two men on the council who were the Christians. But he said the one who actually put the assassination attempt out on him was only in religion for greed and ambition. And then the other one, who's the other Christian who has the leprosy that is, that's always covered.
Yeah.
He only got into Christianity because of leprosy. Right. So he kind of gave the backstory about that. He talked about Ishido. Ishido actually came from a high. A lot of the other ones, like Yoshibe, he is actually a peasant and he grew in the ranks. But Ishido, that's why he has to always have the upper hand, because he came from a higher lineage. He came from samurai. He came from backgrounds from that. So yeah. So yes. So now we're getting into the release of him, and they're getting ready to release them, not because Toranaga said release them, that the council member, the one that's about the greed and stuff, the one who put the hit out on them, we got to do it. They are taking him in the name of him, Lord Kima. That's what it is. Kiyama.
Yeah, the ones are, yeah. Okay.
You are now a prisoner of Lord Kiyama. So they are taking him, and we see the double cross happen. So they put the cover over him. They see some bandits walking out there and they're getting ready to escort him to Lord Kiyama. And the bandits come, and you see swords flying and everything going on.
Arrows flying.
Arrows, yes. And it was so much going on. And I was like, he wasn't getting hit at all. Like, they got some good ass aim.
Yes. They know who to target, basically.
Exactly. I was like, oh my God. And you see what's behind this whole ambush thing is Yoshibe. And then on top of it, he pays the bandits, and then he double crossed them and
take them out. Yeah.
And takes them out. So I was like, oh my God.
Which is smart, because you don't want no witness.
Right. You don't leave no.
You don't want that gossip taken back.
Exactly. A dead man tells no tales.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's what he ended up doing. And I played the clip of him and Ishido talking, and that's how we kind of got to this point. So that was a double cross, like a servant of two masters. You remember I kept saying that thing was
that's it. It's on par with the episode name.
Yes.
The servant of two masters. That's what he doing, child.
Absolutely. So he takes him back to Toranaga, of course. He get there, and he's asking him. He's trying to get intel out of him. Like, what information do you have? Sidebar, forgot to include it. Some of the intel that the old wise man told him in the prison. He told him about
the black ship.
The black ship.
How they dominate the trade. The Chinese hate the Japan.
Yeah.
So all the trade goes through through Portuguese.
Yes. The different places in Macau, the Japanese forces, and all this other stuff. So he told him a whole lot.
How Taco was trying to stop it at one point, but the church incited the rebellion, which smuggled guns from the secret base in what's that called? Moscow?
Macau.
Yeah.
So he told him about all that stuff. So his mind was blown. He asked him to draw.
My mind was blown too.
Right. Everybody, we was like, oh
God, it go deep.
Exactly. So he tells him to draw a map of the world as you know it. Gets down there. He draws this map. I think I have some type of.
Yeah, and Mariko was his translator.
So. Yeah, she was translating for him. And the territory that
he said Portugal and Spain carved up the New World.
Right.
70 years ago, they signed a treaty that split undiscovered land between them.
Right.
And he said, your country falls into the Portuguese half.
Right.
So it belongs to them. Written into legal documents.
Yes.
Each Spanish and Portuguese king had the right to lay claim to any non-Catholic land they discovered and to replace its government with Catholic rule.
Okay. And I do have a snippet, so let's go ahead and play it with it.
This is the way Portugal and Spain carved up the New World. 70 years ago, they signed a treaty that split undiscovered land between them. Your country into the Portuguese half. So it belongs to them. ポルトガルとスペインの2つの国が東洋の島々を分け合ったと信じているようでございます。日の本はポルトガル領だと申しております。 I'm sorry, sir, but I assure you their arrogance is unbelievable. Please tell him it's written into legal documents. Each Spanish and Portuguese king has the right to lay claim to any non-Catholic land they discover and to replace its government with Catholic rule.
This is a lie.
She said, this can't be true.
Do you swear by your God?
Yes, I do.
On God.
They swear.
ポルトガルの望みはキリシタンにあらざる天下人を追放し仲間であるキリシタンの統治者を据えることと申しております。
お前は何を求めて火の元に来たのじゃ。
He asks what you seek here.
An ally.
To vanquish our common enemy.
敵と戦うのに殿の力添えをいただくためと申しております。
戦を挑むつもりならやめておいた方がよい。多勢に無勢。望みはあるまい。
Right. He said it's no hope for you. And then Anjin says, unless I win.
Yes.
So that makes him believe that he has more to offer. And so he's still gonna roll with him. He's still gonna roll with him because he still feels like how does he have like this confidence? Like he's
determined to live.
Exactly. I was just like, wow, this is crazy. That was a lot. And I love that. I know it's a big scene. I might have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, was it lengthy?
Right, it was a little lengthy, so we're gonna see what we So then, of course, the episode ends in the assassination attempt, and
the maid Kayo came in, busted in.
Yeah, she came busting in, and because
but Toranaga gave John
his
room, his quarter, yeah,
exactly. And I thought that was funny. He said that while Yoshibe was there. And so I'm thinking Yoshibe was probably the person who gave the information to know kind of where to go. I don't know, because for some reason when he said he switched quarters with him,
she was trying to unalive John.
That's what I thought. But then when he said he switched quarters with him, how did she end up at
because she thought John was gonna be in there because that's the guest room quarters. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Toranaga was in the guest quarters, so she thought she was going there to kill unalive John.
Okay.
So, but she got Toranaga instead, and
yes, and she came in there and she was wrecking shop. She was taking them out, baby. But
oh yeah, I was like, woo.
Yes,
they were just talking, smiling. Then she did like katana,
right? Exactly. And but Toranaga, like he has his wits about him. He is firing on all cylinders. I believe that he said all that stuff and did all them things because he knew something was going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I said. It was calculated on his part because he just automatically give up his quarters for John.
Right.
Like, what? No.
So he came in there with the quickness, took her up out of here.
I think it was a test as well to see.
I agree. When I feel like he puts out information, it's almost like to see whether or not somebody gonna test it or something. Like, you never know.
You never know.
You know what I'm saying? So I think he puts information out there just to test the waters to see what's going on and like to know who to keep your eye on, your good eye on.
Well, give it up for the KO to make because she got a couple of bodies. She was crazy.
Yeah, she at least got about 5 or 6. She got about 5 or 6. And the engine, he ended up getting scarred too. Doing the whole thing because he thought he was trying to save Toranaga in this big old gesture, like no, and he got cut or whatever. But child, she was already done for. He took care of her.
Right.
And so
he's Scorpion, of course.
Right. And so she was taken out, and that was that. And he reveals that the assassin, in fact, came for
John, the barbarian.
The barbarian. So yeah, bravo, another great episode.
That was good.
Great episode. What would you rate this episode?
I'll give it a 9.
Okay.
Yeah. This last part, I would have to say it shocked me. I'm like, ooh, where'd she come from?
Yes.
Like, what?
Like always a plant, because they said it was the maid. Like they knew, like all this time they had a hired assassin amongst them,
Right.
just waiting to do the bidding. And I'm just like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was a surprise to me at the end. That was
Yeah.
a great surprise.
It spoke to what the wise man was saying. He was like, man, you don't know how you don't know how deep this thing go. You don't
Yes.
know how they operate. You have no idea what is going on here.
Exactly. So yeah.
So that was a display of you have no idea what is going on here. Like you can have people.
Yeah, but I think John's picking up pretty quickly. So
He is.
so that's a good thing.
Kudos to him. One thing I've heard some online discourse. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9 as well. I've heard some online discourse talking about they didn't want John to be this kind of white savior type of, like they didn't really want to base the story on this white man coming into this Japanese thing. I don't feel like that's the story that they're telling, honestly. It doesn't feel like that.
I don't see him as a savior.
Right. I feel like, but we do see him, we haven't gotten there yet, but we'll get there. But we do see him rising in the ranks. We do see him learning Japanese. Like he is learning.
They learning from each other, in my opinion.
Right. It's a quid pro quo type of thing or whatever. And that's what you're supposed to do. I mean,
yeah.
We'll get into it because episode 3 was great as well.
Especially if y'all going up against the same enemy. So why not learn from each other?
Exactly. And it's going to benefit both of you guys in the end. Now,
right.
I don't know, like when y'all get to it, if y'all do whatever with your enemies, then where's that going to leave y'all? So
right.
The aftermath.
That's true.
All that. So
yeah, it was a good episode. I gave it a 9, and it's also a history lesson. I like history, and I like learning other cultures, and other religions, and stuff like that. So
I'm reading it in school books, but seeing it on screen,
I mean, it's like you can get a refresher course if you didn't know.
Right.
So yeah,
I enjoyed it as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recap. Make sure you check out episode 1 if this is your first time catching us and you're new to us or whatever. Make sure you check out episode 1. We're coming with episode 3.
Just be on the lookout. Keep your notification on.
Exactly.
Subscribe to the Diva. Tell a friend. Tell a foe.
Right. And tell some more. Okay. So we had a great time recapping it. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you come back, and we'll see you in the next one, y'all. Bye y'all.